Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Hey, you. Happy New Year. I did not shoot this vlog until the day. 01/01/2020. 01/01/2020. I just thought, I think it's going to feel different. Actually on January 1st, 2020. So let me just wait till that day to get the vlog out. And here I am actually in the late afternoon shooting the vlog. Some cute things that were said last night in the Thompson house. We stayed up till midnight as a family watching the ball drop and watching it turn January 1st, 2020. And Maya, she's 8, and she was bouncing around and saying, a double year, 2020. When does that happen? Daddy, Mommy, were you around for the last one? And David was like, you mean 1919? No, we weren't alive then. But then David and I started to reflect like, whoa, 1919, the world was different then. And think about 1818, and we won't be here for 2121. Yeah, so it was just really interesting that she fixated on that double year thing. And Alexis, who's 11 and a half, she was like, okay, in this decade, she's in 6th grade, I'm going to go to high school. I'm going to graduate from high school. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to graduate from college. And I'm going to start a family. No, I might do that in the next decade. We were like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And then David said, oh, I've been up all decade. I haven't slept the whole decade. I need to go to bed. It was like 12:30. I just died laughing. It was so funny. So that was ringing in our New Year's. It was really sweet. And then I looked down at this file I'd created in my phone, this Evernote, and it was called Susan's Goals for 2020. And I started writing it weeks ago. And I got struck with this huge mistake I'd made. I stared at that list and I was like, Susan, what are you thinking? Girl, come on. Because I know and I share and I teach you, especially in some webinars I've done through the years, the super secret ninja science of actually attaining your goals. And I stared at my list and I thought, I have fallen into the classic trap. I had things on there like read 30 books in 2020, quit caffeine, rehab my shoulders. Actually, I have shoulder impingements in both shoulders so that I can be a vigorous exerciser again. And I looked at that list and I thought, girl. So from then till now, it's been playing on me, and I want to shoot this vlog on the 3 things that matter more than your goals. The 3 things that matter more than your goals in terms of actually changing your life, actually being the up-leveled version of yourself you would like to be. If some version of lose weight, do bright line eating, get healthier, is on your New Year's resolution list for 2020, you need to see this vlog. I need to see this vlog. Like, it's so easy to make this mistake of thinking that writing down something like, lose 80 pounds in 2020, or I've heard this one around our community a lot, get down to goal weight by the family reunion, or, lose 40 pounds by the cruise or whatever, right? That's how people often write their goals. That's how psychologists teach people to write their goals. Research shows it's better than nothing, but it's actually pretty ineffective. As a matter of fact, I was just looking it up online, and there's a big study that was published recently that said that the average date of the abandonment of a New Year's resolution is January 12th. That's when most people have lost their motivation and they stop. January 12th. And I thought, wow, ain't that the truth? So you ready? Here's the 3 things that you need to be thinking about that matter more than your goals. You ready? 2 of these come from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. The third one is an SPT original. Okay. Number 1, identity. Deep change comes from being a different kind of person. When you are a different kind of person, you do different, right? Which raises the question, how do you change your identity? Let's put that aside for a second. The second one is commitment to an effective process. Commitment to an effective process. Now let's back up. Commitment to a process is a new identity. You can decide to be someone who just follows the effing plan. You can decide to be someone who signs up for the Bright Line Eating Bootcamp and just does what it tells you to do. Commitment to a process will build a new identity, and it is in and of itself a new identity. You can be someone who is committed to this process. And the third one is showing up real. Showing up real. I've been talking a lot lately about the Reframe, which is the idea that instead of starting off strong, because it's January 1st, 2020, launching off and then crashing and burning because you've lost motivation on average around January 12th, and then starting off strong again and crashing and burning into the danger and destruction zone, taking all that and turning it into a gentle sine wave where when life gets lifey, you're on a downslope and you catch it before you pick up the food and go off the rails with the food and you get back on the upswing. The number one thing that will keep you from sliding down, 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 off track, more off track, more off track, regaining all that weight, is a commitment to showing up real when you don't feel good, when things are hard, when you're off track. And just a little side note, I was actually yesterday or the day before or something, I was actually thinking that that would be the topic of this whole vlog. This notion of showing up real, it's been the biggest surprise for me of the last 6 years of doing Bright Line Eating, of trying to build this movement. Again and again and again, I've noticed that the vlogs where I have a pithy, I'm thinking super helpful, Bright Line Eating science related tip, they land, a couple people comment, people move on, and it's like, it gets no traction. Like, it doesn't really have much of an impact. The vlogs where, I'm gutted and I show up real around that, and I talk about the soul shifting, pretty messy, nuanced lessons I'm learning around stuff, there's 10 times more comments. There's a sense in our Bright Line Eating ecosphere that people are tuned in, considering their lives on the deepest level, allowing huge shifts to happen. People who are hiding come out of the woodworks to say, I needed to hear that realness, that authenticity. It gives me permission to be human. It gives me permission to let the fact that I'm suffering right now come out into the open, and I'm experiencing healing right now because of that. If you commit to showing up real, to not putting on the sweet face and the big smile, caretaking other people, making sure other people's needs are handled, and suffering in silence, and letting yourself slide further down the sine wave, which then turns into a slippery slope all the way down into the danger and destruction zone. If you decide to commit to practicing saying things like, I'm not okay right now, I feel off, that will matter more than as of today, January 1st, 2020, having goals written down of the date by which you're going to lose however many pounds. So I just want to say, if you're super motivated, and this vlog is tricky to shoot, right? The vlog is is getting trickier to shoot, the more people are watching it. Tens of thousands of people now watch this vlog every week. And I'm kind of aware of that as I roll camera, especially on a day like this. 01/01/2020. Could there be any more pressure? 01/01/2020. What do you say to people starting off a new decade? Well, the reality is you might feel really motivated. You might have signed up for Reboot Resume. You might have signed up for the Bright Line Eating Bootcamp already. You might have gotten through the Getting Started checklist already. And you might be like going and motivated. In which case I want to say that is fine and awesome. And really it's better than fine and awesome. I am so stoked for you. And check yourself right now. Are you committed to a process that works? Bright Line Eating is a process that works. Are you aware that what needs to happen is that your identity needs to shift at the deepest level? Are you committed to showing up real even if it gets messy? And if so, then having some kind of goal written down is fine. If you have a goal written down, especially if it includes getting to goal weight by a certain date or losing a certain number of pounds, and yet you have not committed to getting yourself the support you need and you have not committed to a process, I'm worried about you. I mean, not really, you'll be fine. But I guess I just want to throw out there that that's the formula for being off track by January 12th. Because what really matters is commitment to a daily process. Let me tell you about what that looks like in a couple of areas, right? For me, read 30 books in 2020. I fell off track with reading. I hardly read in 2019. Read 30 books by 2020 is one thing. That doesn't get accomplished by writing down read 30 books in 2020. What I need to be thinking about is, what process am I committed to? Reading 20 pages a day? Yeah, what time a day? Reading 20 pages a day right before lunch, that's a process. If I'm committed to that, and then I think about my identity, what kind of person reads every day? Well, the kind of person who talks to other people who read every day, who's in book clubs. I called Chris Davis, the chief of staff of Bright Line Eating, who I know to be an avid reader. And I said, what books are you reading right now? You want to talk about books? You want to she's like, yeah, I'm committed to reading 3 books a month. I said, you want to sync up and make them the same books and talk about them? She said, I would love that. Identity, process. And then showing up real, which means when I slide off track and I notice I haven't read anything for a week, do I language that to someone? Do I say, oh, I'm off track? Get some support around getting back on track with my reading. That's how it looks different. You see that? Having read 30 books in 2020 doesn't do much. In some ways, it's even counterproductive. If it makes me feel like I'm getting somewhere, when really what I need to think about is my process. Now, changing your eating or losing weight is, it's a multifaceted thing. And that's why commitment to an entire system like Bright Line Eating is what really moves the needle. Bright Line Eating is a physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, whole package program with community, with what it takes to really shift your identity. And in the service of showing up real, let me just say, I had every intention to quit caffeine on January 1st, 2020, and not have any coffee going into this year. My caffeine intake has escalated beyond anything that I'm used to. And it's so funny because just recently I shot a vlog about how I'm not worried about it, or I don't remember even what I said in that vlog. Was I quitting then? Maybe, and then I fell back into it. I don't know. But it's escalated in ways that are like, I'm not okay with. And I had every intention of being off of it. And this morning, January 1st, 2020, I made myself a black cup of coffee and I sobbed in my husband's arms and I said, I'm sick. I'm exhausted. And today's not the day. I'm not quitting caffeine today. And he gave me the biggest hug and he said, honey, you don't have to. And there was a sense of grief or loss around losing out on the perfection of not making that change as of January 1st, 2020, the new decade. I really wanted to be off that sauce in the new year, the new decade. And since there are so many people watching this vlog, I want to give language to the fact that some of you maybe, might have just watched the new year turn over and have not been quite ready to make the change that you deep down know you want to make with your food. And I just want to give you a big hug and say, oh, honey, you don't have to. Not till you're ready. In Bright Line Eating, we're not called to be perfect. We're called to be unstoppable. I mean that. We mean that around here. And for some of us, getting our food straight is the only thing that will lead to lasting health and peace. It really is. It's true for me. I am not good if my food is off, and thank God my food is on. I am so grateful that I'm going into this year not thinking about having to resume with my food. If you are going into this year thinking about having to resume with your food, I have a button right below this vlog for you to click, and it just asks you some questions. Just some basic questions. And if you want to commit to a process called Bright Line Eating, if you feel called to try that, I want you to know that my team and I are here to support you. And if that's not your next right move, I honor that. I honor that. But if you have changes to make, there are 3 things that matter more than your goals that you focus on changing from the deepest level of identity. That you commit to a process, a daily process for doing things differently. And commitment to that process can be your new identity. And that when you need to, you show up real. Don't tuck it away and put on the good face. Because with that approach, you just slide further and further into the ditch. We do real around here. I love you, and welcome to 2020.